And we're back with another episode of Real Life Movie Talk. It's your boy Chris.
Blockbuster Ben, what's up, people? What's going on? What do we got? Is this the last Thursday in February for us? Right?
Yeah, the last movie review we're going to do during Black History Month.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. And before we jump into that, let's just do our beer and popcorn, blow through those.
Absolutely.
And then we can talk about it because we have a little segment lined up here.
I'm excited. We haven't had popcorn in a while.
A couple weeks. The guy, when I stopped there today, he's like, I thought you guys were maybe trying something else or blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, I didn't think you were open. And he's like, one day we were closed. I was like, we didn't have some fun. It was like a whole thing. But anyway.
It's God's fault.
God or Biden. That's what we decided.
God or Biden. Yeah. It could be some residual Trump. We don't know.
Who knows? We're just a couple guys in a basement.
Right.
You know? But yeah, back with the popcorn. Super excited about this. Got another. We're jumping into beer first.
We're going to do beer first?
Beer first.
All right.
This is the brand new, literally came out today, special release from Heavy Seas. It's called the Bottomless Bellini-inspired beer. Right there, if you can see the can. And, of course, the can art will be right here. So you can get a better look.
Can art by Chris Shiner.
Chris Shiner, again, this guy crushes these labels. It's a peachy Bellini-inspired beer for our kind of Sunday morning. Juicy, bright, and fizzy, this ale has all the fun without the stemmed glass. We'd like to think brunch is always better when it's bottomless. First sip.
Hey, good on them.
It's
good.
Yeah.
It's got a fruity aftertaste, and it's a little sweet.
Oh, this is... Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. God damn it. That is really
man,
good.
That sweetness kicks in at the end there.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like right when you think you'd get the IPA aftertaste, it starts and then boom,
it's
you
fruit.
a burst of fruity flavor.
Yeah, that's damn good.
Good. That is... Son of a bitch. They're putting something in there.
Good on them.
So yeah, it just came out today. Available online, beerme.com, BIERMI.com, or you can order straight through Heavy Seas website.
Yeah, let's do Heavy Seas straight. That's what she said to do, right?
No, that's when we're tagging them.
Okay.
That's when we're tagging them.
Yeah.
But for ordering some of these special releases, you can only do through beerme.com. Okay. So I would go there first. Okay. And you can also check their website, hsbeer.com. But first, go to beerme.com, BIERMI.com. That's where you can order this. So episode will be out tomorrow. You should still be able to order it for pickup this weekend. So you can order Friday for pickup Saturday and Sunday. I think they have curbside all weekend.
And for one of the greatest transitions in sponsorship history, this is the beer's birthday. And the flavor of popcorn we decided to do is...
Okay. Birthday cake.
And my shirt, Duff.
Cakes.
Charm City Cakes.
Wow, it all just came
Duff's
together.
in front of the show. We did an episode with him. Look it up. Mm-hmm. Good interview.
It's a good one. Chris really did his research.
Do I ever?
Nailed it.
Do I ever? I barely watch these movies.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, birthday cake. This is the first day it's out. It's his birthday. Boom.
This is good. I wish I brought another one down. This
is really good. Yeah, and it's smooth. I could drink this quickly.
100%. This is going to go fast.
Out of the park. Knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, great job. Heavy Seas.
Absolutely.
We love you guys. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into this popcorn. Okay. To just start out, I love birthday cake flavor stuff. Like Fun Betty cake, obviously Dunkaroos, anything like that. I love that flavor. Smells good.
Yeah, it does. It's that white chocolate.
Tastes very good. Yeah.
That's
good, right?
Very, very good.
Sweet, but that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. It's heavy, but it's like a snack time popcorn.
Sure. For sure. I've been missing the popcorn now that we're eating it. I've been missing the popcorn. Not that the 3D Doritos weren't great.
I've been drinking a lot because there's no popcorn. But I'm filibustering. I'm just drinking. Now I could munch.
Yeah. Yep. Man, this is good. Highly recommend. And when I was up there today, he was telling me starting to get nice out again. So they're about to start amping up more flavors again.
Let's go.
So that big wall of popcorn will be back. So stop by, get you a bag of this, get you a bag of Chicago Mix, my favorite. Anything that your taste buds may want, they got something that should be able to cater to that.
Yep.
Yeah, great stuff.
Great stuff. All right, what we have next?
Next,
you guys.
Okay, so in honor of Black History Month, we decided that we should, maybe before we jump into our reviews, just acknowledge it since we hadn't yet this month, and talk about some of our favorite movies dealing with Black history and like the civil rights movement and stuff like
absolutely.
that. So we each picked 3, and we're just going to dive into them. If you don't know what they're about, maybe a little backstory on them, that kind of thing. So you want to go 1 and 1?
Okay.
1 for 1? Are those in an order for you, or do you...
So this is tough, right? When he asked me to do this, I don't typically get into... I don't even know how to say, like, history-based movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do and I don't. And I didn't want it just to be about the civil rights movement for me.
Right.
So I picked some movies that I really enjoyed.
Just a baseline.
Plus some movies that I thought were huge for Black culture.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 or 2 civil rights too. So I mean, we only had 3, but...
Yeah, we all got 3 each. That's fine.
I think it's worth mentioning. So if you want to do it in order, I can do it in
Let's
order.
go reverse order. 3, 2, 1.
All right, reverse order. I'm going this one, Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's newer, and it is set in a mythical place.
Mm-hmm.
However, it was like Black director, almost completely Black design team. Obviously, the Black superhero.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get too nerdy, but he's not the first lead Black superhero, but he's the first real predominant one. Plus, he lost his life in the past year, so rest in peace, obviously. He just did so much for everything in the culture, and I think he needed at least a movie to represent that, and I think this was the pinnacle of his career, in my opinion. He did some great other movies, but...
And speaking of, like, Black culture and civil rights, not only did he do this, which was huge for Black... I mean, he played Jackie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, James Brown, Jackie Robinson. Shit, I'm sorry, I fucked that up. James Brown, Jackie Robinson. I mean, and his last movie, he just... Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
6 Bloods? Or 9 Bloods?
No. The 5 Bloods was second to last. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was
okay, I didn't see that
the last one. Yeah, based on a play. And Ma Rainey is a real person. And I don't know if his character was also based on a real person. But he's just great, man. And he's an icon, I think.
So this isn't civil rightsy, but it's a huge movie for Black culture, and I can at least appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and we're huge Marvel fans over here, so that's perfect. 3 for me, 12 Years a Slave, which came out in 2013, and I just saw it for the first time a couple months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I put off watching that because I knew, like, I just knew what it, like, I was going to be so just... heartbroken, man. I just because I knew what it was about, and if you don't know what it's about Solomon Northrop. It's a true story. He was a free man from upstate New York.
Mm-hmm. He went down south.
No, he didn't go down south. He was drugged. He was kidnapped, and then he was sold into slavery. Yep. And it's about his journey trying to get back. And it is one of the most amazing stories I've ever seen, but not amazing in a good way. Like, the fact that this happened is crazy. Right. And it's a movie that I think everyone needs to see at least once, but I'll probably never watch it again because it is brutal. I mean, it's brutal. Yeah. So that's my number 3.
Okay. My number 2, Remember the Titans. God, it's my top 3 favorite sports movie of all time. It just showed how if you overcome your differences, how good you could be together. Real history. Denzel, just his speeches, his relentless spirit. Like, he wouldn't give up. He wouldn't back down. He won't apologize. He said, I don't say I'm sorry unless I'm wrong. I forget what the speech was. Yeah. He's like, I forget what it is. But it was very empowering.
It's a great movie. And it holds up.
I will not apologize. That's just good stuff.
I just showed it to Celine for the first time 2-3 nights ago. It holds up. It's a great movie.
So good.
Do you know there are people that don't like that movie? There are critics out there that shit on that movie, and I don't understand.
I heard a lot about historical inaccuracies in that movie. Okay. Which, if you're a critic, you look into douchey stuff like that. But overall...
It's a true story. It's based on a true story. It really happened. So movies always take liberties. That's just a thing that happens, okay? So, I don't know, whatever. My number 2, loving from 2016. Have you seen it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do not.
It's the story of Richard and Mildred Loving. They're a couple who were arrested for their interracial marriage in the 1960s. And they started this legal battle that went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court ruled in 1967 in their favor, and it voided Virginia's Racial Integrity Act of 1924, which basically stated that people from different races couldn't marry each other.
84? Is that what you said?
No, what about... No, 1924.
1924,
which still is after slavery was abolished.
Oh, yeah.
That this law
Segregation
was created...
Like Jim
after,
Crow.
yeah. And so, not only was that law voided then in Virginia, but 15 other states had laws like that, which is insane to me. And this is in the 60s.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. But I love these people. They're pioneers, man. And it's a...
And that story should matter a little bit to you, too.
It matters a lot
right?
to me. It matters a lot to me. And it just... it's a movie that everyone should see, and I don't think enough people have seen it.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's a great movie. Everyone should see it. Number one?
Well, number one is A Time to Kill.
Okay.
I think when... I just felt, obviously, Samuel Jackson's pain, the character he portrayed through the whole movie. But when he was in the courtroom and he said, yeah, I killed him, and I hope they burn in hell. Mm-hmm. I just, what a powerful moment.
Yeah.
And obviously it outlines the same thing a lot of these movies do. It's just racial injustice and things that need to change. Mm-hmm. And obviously people were not perfect. And I just want everyone at home that's so pissed off at the world right now to understand that where they were to where they are, no one's perfect. We are not there yet, but we are making progress. Yeah. Don't see an injustice and think it's indicative of everybody. Yeah. And hopefully you can appreciate how much progress we've made. Obviously, it doesn't matter until you get to the finish line, but it's a small journey, and I think a lot of good people are pushing it in the right direction. So
obviously it's getting better and better.
And I hope it keeps getting better.
Me too, man. If everybody just started looking at each other as humans, instead of, he's white, he's black, he's Asian, he's Hispanic. Everybody's a human, and humans make mistakes, and people are people, and you just gotta, there's good people. My philosophy, there's good people, there's bad people, and that can be applied to literally anything. White, black, anything. Cops, security guard, good. There's good and there's bad. That, to me, that's what there is. There's a good person and a bad person. And if you do your best to be a good person, that's all you can do.
I just think it's right and wrong, honestly.
Good, bad, right, wrong. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Everybody's the hero in their own story.
Yeah.
You think people are bad because they want to be, or
because... some, yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
That can't be the overwhelming majority.
No.
I just think what I'm saying is the way they were raised, how they were brought up, they think what they're doing is right, no matter how wrong it actually is.
I don't know. Yes, majority of the times I think there is true evil out there, though.
But there's also a lot of ignorance.
That's good.
People are just dumb.
Yeah, that's a fair point too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No. Yeah.
Tangent.
But my number one was Remember the Titans, and we've already talked about it. Yep. It came out in 2000. I grew up with that movie. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that movie. Mm-hmm. We did a 3 to Keep segment. I think that movie was included in one of them, right? Mm-hmm. It just, the love I have for that movie, and rewatching it again recently, I hadn't seen it in a while, it still gives me tears, man. It gives me chills. There's happiness, there's sadness, it's exciting. It's just an incredible movie. And, it deals with schools being integrated in Virginia in the 70s. How is that still a thing in the 70s where the school, right.
But that's what I'm saying. Think about it. That was only 30, 40 years ago.
50 now. 50. We're in 2021,
bud. Shit.
Yeah, 50 years.
Damn.
Which still, in the grand scheme of things, is not that long ago.
No, it's not that long ago.
Yeah.
Of course. But look at where we are now compared to then. And I'm excited to see where we are in another 50 years. That's not fast enough.
Yeah.
However, one day, I think, in our lives, we'll see, hopefully, true equality.
Yeah, listen, if I make it another 50 years, I'll be happy. I'm hoping I get 50 more.
Shit. With your high level income and advances in modern technology?
No saying I can't live to 245, maybe 300.
No one lives forever. No one. But with advances in modern science, my high level income, it's not crazy to think I can't live to be 245, maybe 300.
I love that line.
That's so good.
Yeah. Okay, but that's it. We just wanted to acknowledge it.
Yeah,
pay respects. And we're a movie show. talk about some movies that meant something to us. So, there you go. Moving on. Time for WandaVision.
WandaVision.
WandaVision, episode 7.
Episode 7.
Yep. Breaking the Fourth Wall is what it was called. Directed by Matt Shackman, written by Cameron Squires. And the plot, Monica plots her return. Monica Rambeau, meaning she's trying to plot how to get back in. Wanda navigates unsettling complications, and Vision forms a new alliance. That's the overall. Thoughts on the episode?
Love it.
Yeah?
Keep loving them.
Okay.
Gonna keep loving them.
I didn't love this one as much as I loved the last one.
Okay.
There was good shock at the end, but I was a little underwhelmed at one moment. And I think you probably know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
What did you think of the show that they spoofed?
I'm excited because it's like my favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
But I didn't get enough of it.
Me neither.
Honestly.
When I was watching it, I was like, yeah, they're doing the mockumentary, they're interviewing. So it's The Office, Modern Family. Those are the two shows that... But I had to look it up.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Because I didn't get enough of The Office. And I even asked my brother, and he was like, it's The Office. And I was like, is it though?
Is it though?
And he was like, listen to the credits. So then I watched the episode again today. And if you listen to the credit, like the music during the opening credits, it's like the Office theme song, but like altered. So it's there. But I've also never seen Modern Family. So
I've never seen Modern Family either.
Yeah, so I don't know. I wanted to love it more because I was
Is that the part you thought is underwhelming?
No.
That is underwhelming. To have my favorite show mocked and not doing it at least enough for me to know it's my favorite show.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing on that. So. But it was still like, okay, well, at least they acknowledged that was like the biggest show of the era, that decade or whatever, you know?
What do you think next one is?
I don't know. Where could it go? I mean, because now we're in, that would be 2010 to 2020, right?
It's got to be How I Met Your Mother and then Big Bang.
I fucking hate those shows. I hate
both of
those
them?
shows.
Why?
Don't get me started, man.
You know what? We're going to have a whole conversation about why you don't like Big Bang. Because I always thought that was interesting.
Yeah?
I saw, like, hate groups. I think Big Bang is the Nickelback of television. Everyone hates Nickelback, and I don't know why.
I don't hate Nickelback.
But you know what I'm talking about.
People do hate
Out of
Nickelback.
nowhere, people just shit on Nickelback. And I think the guy's an asshole or whatever. So I don't know. I don't care.
Chad Kroger.
Whatever. But then Big Bang came out, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty funny. I get the concept, whatever. And then everyone is like, they're ripping on me as not being cultured because I think it's okay.
No, that show sucks. They're not funny. They're idiot. I can't stand them. I hate them.
I want to know why. So we'll figure this out later.
Yeah, don't get... Oh, God. Sorry, Adam. My brother loves that show.
I don't get why
He also loves How I Met Your Mother. Okay? He recommended How I Met Your Mother to me.
I like How I Met Your Mother.
I can't stand it.
Why?
We can do another segment.
We don't have to do another segment.
Because I hate it.
And this is the weird thing, right? With Big Bang, I could get someone saying, it's okay. Or, yeah, not really my cup of tea. But they don't say that. They say, I hate that show. Like Schitt's Creek, it's okay.
Okay.
Not the greatest thing I've ever seen. But I don't fucking, like, ragely hate it. So.
How I Met Your Mother could have been good, right? But...
We don't have to do it right now.
Okay. All right. Another time.
Another time.
Let's get back on track.
All right, get back on track.
Okay. So, you love the episode. What about it? Like, where are we going here? What did you
so
like the most?
Personally, I'm looking at it now after everything that's happened as they are creating characters that are going to be seen in huge cinematic releases at some point during this great release of MCU phase, whatever phase.
Hell yeah.
So every little thing that happens gets me excited.
They're setting everything up, man. Which
is why, right? So Vision brought what's-her-name out of the trance. They had some conversations. That's cool.
Darcy.
Mm-hmm. Rambo goes through the thing. You see some things about her. We're not going to get into spoilers yet, but that was exciting to see. Honestly, maybe not exciting. I got to see what that's going to turn into because my least favorite character in the MCU is Captain Marvel, and if this is just another thing on that, I'm going to be very upset. And it's nothing to do with her being a girl. It's just she's too powerful. My least favorite superhero in DC is Superman. Yeah. They're just too powerful. It's really hard to make a good movie around someone that powerful.
Okay.
Anyway, so you start to see the characters, and then this one exposes the bad guy. We'll talk about that at the end a little bit.
Yep.
It's just, we're in reality again.
Yeah.
It's about, things are about to go down.
Yep. And that's why I think this episode might have been just like that. Not the calm before the like storm, but it was like we've had some real excitement. We kind of plateaued a little bit, and I think the last 2 episodes are going to be fire.
Hope so.
Yeah, me too. Big hopes. And just real quick, every episode up to this point, there has been no like mid or post credits sequence. There is one in this episode, so stick around. And that's not a spoiler. I'm just letting you know. Don't turn it off as soon as the credits start rolling, because there is something this episode.
Yes.
But okay, that's it. That's pretty much generalities. We can start diving into some major details now. Get into some spoilies. Okay. First things first. Well, I gotta tell you, man, what I was really, really underwhelmed by was Monica Rambeau's contact. The person that she was going to meet, the person we were predicting it was going to be. Yeah. We were thinking it was going to be some huge Marvel, like person we've seen before, and it was just a person. It was like someone we don't know.
Yeah.
And it, like the way that they hinted at, like, or not, the way they set it up was like we were going to get something major, and then it was like, no, it's just a person who has some spacecraft vehicle
who may be important in the future.
Could be, yeah, but at that moment, I was
like,
damn, really wanted to be someone awesome.
I thought it was going to be Thor.
Yeah, well, no, what did I say? I think I said Hawkeye, but yeah, that was the part that I was really not let down, because it, but it just.
I could just see Hawkeye going, I'll get you in there.
He's got an arrow.
Just shooting arrows at it. Nothing's working.
Yeah. Yeah, so that part got me. And our predictions about Agnes.
John, credit to John. He said that a long time ago, right?
We said it on that episode, because when you asked me who I thought the villain was, I said I think it's her. And it was mainly because she was the only other person we'd seen. Like, recurring, right? That's what we said. It was like, she's the only other person. But John had the whole theory about how she's Agnes is Agatha and blah, 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 which I didn't know. I just guessed. It was like, well, it's got to be someone we've seen, and I just picked her.
Right.
I think that's how it went down. I'm trying to...
It makes sense, though.
Yeah. But all the clues were there again. They sprinkled them for us. Main clue being last week... in a witch costume.
Yes, you're just as
I mean, like, if that wasn't the biggest clue in the world, then I don't know what else they could have done. But yeah, at the very end of the episode, you get her.
It's still not her, though. I think there's someone else, though.
I wouldn't disagree with that either, only because I did do a little research today, and Agatha Harkness is her real name. That's how she introduces herself to Wanda at the end. Was like a mentor to her in the comics. Do you know anything about it?
I don't know shit about it.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It's like she trained her or taught her or something. So there could definitely be more behind it.
I think it's what everyone's been suggesting since the beginning. I think Mephisto is going to show up.
Was that your theory or was that John's?
John read the theory.
I know.
It was John's.
It's a great idea, John.
Yeah. So he did. But I didn't realize when he was saying it that Mephisto in the comics represented the devil. So when I said that I think she sold her soul to the devil and is giving up her kids,
meaning him, Mephisto.
Mephisto. Yep. And when you walk into the witch's lair, like in history times, whatever, witches worship the devil. Like that's what they do. So for her to be in love with a Mephisto isn't that far fetched, and she took the kids, which I thought was going to happen, and now we don't know where they are. I don't care what happens. Next episode, I better see a big fight between these wicked witches. I'm pumped.
That'd be sick.
So pumped.
Yeah, I mean that's because Wanda's vision Wanda's powers are so great that it's like you're gonna need something else huge to battle her, right? Like realistically, in a comic world, battle her. So I'm super pumped to see, because I think we'll hopefully get some great special effects with these fight sequences and the,
I want to be like just all out brawls. I want her and Agnes to go at it hard, like fight, and then I want Rambo to get into it with Pietro. We didn't talk about that yet, but that's going to be, I hope that's a thing. And then I hope right when all hope is lost, Vision shows up, shuts the whole shit down, and that's what happens.
Because everybody's everybody's separate right now.
Yeah.
Vision is with Darcy. After Wanda expanded the Hex, Darcy got trapped in it with a lot of other people. But Vision is with her now, and they're kind of working things out together.
Yep.
Rambo, trying to get in the Hex, she tries to drive this moon vehicle or whatever it is.
No, it didn't work.
through this thing, and it like just drives straight up, which was wild.
And everyone's like, "Get out of there!" Yeah, okay.
And it like throws it all back, but she's like, "You know what? Nah, I can get through.
I'm going in there."
Yeah, and she just gotta. Does she walk or does she run?
I will give this to DC comparably. The way they create fucking superheroes in the Marvel universe is stupid. I'm sorry, but you walk through this Hex and you become a superhero.
But this was her third time through it.
Either way.
But it's not like it just happened. Darcy said, your DNA is changing.
I get that.
So they've been building to it. And in the comics, she turns into someone called Photon. Yeah. I think is her name in the comics, Photon.
I get it. I'm just saying, if you can go through and it does this, then anyone can do it. Or if you get blasted with the Tesseract for one time and you're the most powerful thing ever. In DC, they killed both of Batman's parents and let him figure it out on his own. Superman was an alien from another planet whose whole world was destroyed.
Okay.
These are just people walking through walls or playing with gamma radiation.
Okay.
I do think DC has one up on them on developing the sequence in which you become a superhero. That's all I'm saying.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I've never even thought about that.
Yeah. Captain Marvel pissed me off, dude.
You really don't like her.
The way she became a hero was like, what the fuck? The way this girl's about to become a hero pissing me off.
But I mean, if that's the history of the character, and I don't know the history, but if that is the history of the character, then they're just staying true to the source material. What's wrong with that?
Well, the source material is the problem. It's not them. I'm not blaming them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It just, it's superheroes, it's fiction, I just accept it for what it is. If there's something...
Of course. I'm just comparing it to DC, which is the same thing. I love Marvel way more than DC. I don't want to get that mixed up at all.
I was going to say, let DC figure out how to make a good goddamn movie.
I'm in there 130%. 130%. Yeah. I'm just saying the sequence of becoming a hero.
Yeah.
They get bit by a spider. Come on.
It wasn't just a regular ass spider,
though. So that spider goes around and bites everyone. You got 45 Spider-Mans?
Didn't the spider die after?
It did, but what if it didn't? God, what if it didn't?
Oh, that could have been bad.
Could have been a superhero in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
That could have turned you into a superhero.
Possibly Glassman, you know? Anyway.
God, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I do think, though, her turning, when she comes through the other side, and she's got those hyper blue eyes, I was like, oh, hell yeah. I thought those were cool as shit.
I was excited. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, so stop hating on it.
I
just enjoy it.
I just don't like it.
Killjoy.
Be more creative. It's like, and look, pay attention to this too. And this is all coming to me right now.
You're talking about the entire Marvel universe, and you're like, be creative. What the fuck?
With how they become. It's like they ran out of ideas to how to create superheroes. They were like, why don't they just get born with them? Call them mutants. Done. Now they got like 50 mutant heroes.
Dude, they've got a million different ways that people have become superheroes.
I'm just saying, Green Lantern, a whole society found him and chose him. Green Lantern sucks as a superhero. I'm with you there. However, at least his origin story was pretty cool.
I don't know much about Green Lantern. I know that movie was trash.
Iron Man's was cool. And so was Thor's got a good history.
Well, either way.
I digress.
Digress, please. Thank you. But yeah, and then did we cover all the characters? Oh.
No, do the post-credits.
Post-credit sequence. Agnes, right before the credits roll, Agnes, a.k.a. Agatha Hart, what is it? I already said it and I can't remember. Agatha what? What did I say, Chris?
Harkness.
Like Hark the Herald Angels sing? Is that? I don't know. Anyway, Wanda's walking around the house after Agatha has like, the whole thing is that Wanda's like, she's like, I need a staycation, right? So she's kind of bumming it up in PJs the whole episode, giving an interview, like, she's telling everybody she's fine a million times, you know, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
When everybody says, I'm fine. If you've seen Friends, you know that's not true. They're far from fine, okay?
I'm fine.
But
if you've ever had a girlfriend and she says that.
That's
or
all.
boyfriend, maybe, I don't know. Yes, that doesn't mean they're fine.
Really? I'm fine.
I'm fine. But,
Yep.
so Agatha is like, here, let me just take the kids off your hands, right? And that's what Chris was talking about, how the kids get kidnapped or whatever. We don't know what happens to them yet. But towards the end of the episode, Wanda's like, hey, where are the boys? Agatha's like, I think they were playing in the basement. And then Wanda wanders down in the basement, and it's this weird...
Wanda.
Yeah, it's weird decor, witchcraft-looking things, and then, boom, here's... Oh, hey, Wanda, you didn't think you were the only... What did she say?
It looks like a satanic ritual is about to happen.
Yeah.
The only one with magical powers.
And it cuts to that song that's been stuck in my head. It's been Agatha all along. It's been stuck in my head for a week. So it cuts. And then post-credits, Monica makes her way to the cellar, like the outside cellar doors, and opens it up, sees something like weird lighting and things going on, and then flips the camera angle. Pietro's right there, and he's like, "Snoop is going to Snoop," and then it just cuts. So that's it. That's where the episode ends. And
The most intriguing thing for me right now, after that,
Yep.
is I want to understand the origin story of Pietro.
Me too.
Is it Pietro? Is it Mephisto dressed as a weird version of Pietro? Did Agatha channel him from an alternate reality, which is the X-Men from Fox, and bring him over? Like, what happened?
Is it the MCU? Pietro's like
actual body?
No. Like his mind in the X-Men's Pietro's body. That was the thought I had.
Right now, that is the most intriguing thing for me. I want to
Yeah.
understand that more, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, Rambo is going to fight him. That's bound to happen.
Yep.
Obviously, Scarlet Witch and Agatha are going to fight, and Vision is on his way back.
Yep.
He just found out his backstory. He understands that he's dead in real life, and
Yep.
things are just different for him right now.
Yep.
So when he gets back, I'm very excited to see how he handles the whole situation.
Yeah. These last 2 episodes are gonna be fire, I think.
I hope so.
Yep.
I hope so.
Okay. But that's it.
You don't want to Game of Thrones it.
Yep. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's jump into our movie review. Okay.
Let's get these out of the way.
And
if you're wondering why I'm moving the popcorn, Ben will explain.
Yep. So we have a special guest that will be joining us for this
Way
segment.
down under.
For a portion of this segment, anyway. I'm going to jump into the movie. I'm going to talk about it real quick, and then we'll jump into our guest. So the movie is City of Lies. We told you last week it was supposed to come out in 2018, and then it was like a month before release. Got pulled from the roster. Is that what it's called? The schedule? I think they call it the schedule.
It
never came out. I remembered seeing the trailer, and it just kind of fell by the wayside. I forgot about it, and then our guest was the one that suggested it, and so here we are.
And it like completely blackballed. Like everyone can recall what happened with The Interview, where there was like a national security threat. They said, you know what? Let's not release it in theaters, but it still hit Netflix. It still hit Hulu. Everyone that wanted to see it still saw it. This movie got swept under the rug, and I never even heard of it. It's got Johnny Depp.
Forrest Whitaker.
It's a banger of an all-star cast.
Other people you'll recognize. I don't know their names, but people you'll see and be like, oh, okay, I know that person, I know this person from that, da-da-da. It got released, I want to say, in Italy, because that's the version we had, was from Italy.
Okay.
If you notice, like, some of the subtitles.
Did some illegal shit. Come get us, coppers.
But it was released there, I think, a few places had it. So the movie's out there. You just got to find it. Okay? Directed by a guy named Brad Furman. He directed The Lincoln Lawyer.
Great movie.
Yep.
Great movie.
Runner, and The Infiltrator. So a few movies that I've all seen.
Yep.
I don't remember Runner too much. Ben Affleck, Justin Timberlake, and then The Infiltrator with Bryan Cranston. CIA movie. Pretty good. Not terrible. Good movie.
That was good.
Based on a book written by Randall Sullivan, a nonfiction book. Based on a real book. Yeah. The screenplay was written by a guy named Christian Contreras. And I think this is the only movie he's ever written, honestly. They were like, oh, you wrote this? You're out.
Someone probably popped them off.
And the plot of the movie, it's about an LAPD detective named Russell Poole, a real person, and a reporter. He's called Jack Jackson in the movie. That's his name, which is a crazy name to make. You could have literally, if you're not, the character's based on Randall Sullivan, the guy that wrote the book, right? So if you're not going to call him Randall Sullivan, Jack Jackson was the best you could come up with. That was a little crazy.
What should we call this? Unobtainium.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could have any other name.
Shout out to John.
Jack Jackson. Great. Okay. So these two, they investigate the murders of rappers Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac. Now it says Tupac, but it's they don't talk about Tupac too much. It's really about the murder of Notorious B.I.G. or Christopher Wallace, as Forrest Whitaker's character in the movie says. Or no, Johnny Depp's character says it, because Forrest Whitaker's character is calling him Biggie Smalls all the time. Russell Poole, Johnny Depp goes, his name's Christopher Wallace. Whatever the line was, but like he's like, respect him, please. So yeah, Russell Poole, played by Johnny Depp, and Jack Jackson, played by Forrest Whitaker. So overall thoughts of the movie?
It was great.
Before we get into our guest?
Not the type of movie I think I would watch. Mm-hmm. I'm just not that interested in the subject matter. Okay. However, it was really good. Yep. Well done. I think there's a lot of twists that I'm going to talk about with our guest that really intrigued me. Mm-hmm. And it kept my attention the whole time. I love Biggie. I liked Pac. Mm-hmm. When it came to music, obviously, I just said I lean toward Biggie. Not that it's a competition or that it has to be.
No, they're both great artists.
Just juicy, the stuff that I hear, like when the music comes on, my head bops, and I love that old school East Coast flow. Yeah. The West Coast stuff was great too. I like Pac, but I'm a punchline guy. Okay. By nature, so it investigated the whole thing. I think it started well, and what it dealt with a lot was the police corruption in LA, which at this point we can agree is like the worst police department of all time, right?
Followed probably closely by Baltimore.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But I'm just talking out my ass right now.
But back then, goddamn, were they corrupt? This is like the third movie we've reviewed that had to deal with police corruption in some sort.
Yeah, it's kind of based around the Rampart Division, which there was a movie called Rampart that came out, I think, within the last decade or so with Woody Harrelson, also around the corruption in that division of the LAPD. I mean, and the movie really insinuates that Suge Knight had his hands deep in the LAPD. Like a lot of people were on his payroll. Cops were straight up gangsters, right? I mean, gangsters.
That's what I would do if I was a gangster.
They were literally working for him as security, like for Suge Knight, for Death Row Records. Right. It's just, the story is so crazy, man, that it, to me, has to be true. You know, like, it's one of those stories to me that was like, this is just too crazy for me not to look at this. I don't know.
The only thing I will save reservation for is that I'm only hearing their side. Right? I do think it's true, honestly. There's motive, there's intent. In my brain thinks, I could definitely see this happening, as crazy as it is. But I also hate choosing based on one side of it. Which is my whole gripe against this Netflix series that claim everyone they have a story against is innocent. They might be innocent, and their story sounds compelling, but I am only hearing your side of the argument.
I mean, that's fair, bro, but like, for how many years? 30 years? 25 years? 25 years. Since he was murdered, Biggie, right? We've been told one thing. It's unsolved. That's what what all the officials have said. It's an unsolved case.
Yeah, it's not a cold case. Make it a cold case.
It's unsolved. Yeah. It's an open investigation. So now there's all these details, facts that were found. And the movie gets pulled from a release, and nobody knows anything about this.
That's some sketchy shit.
To me, that's
no reason to pull it. No reason.
None. Unless you really think that this movie's going to do damage. Yeah. Which it would. And we're going to dive into that.
It's a real life conspiracy.
Yeah, with our guest.
And we're starting a hashtag.
We're starting a hashtag. I'm going to tell you.
On there,
Yeah, with the guest. So without further ado, we got our boy all the way from down under, right? On Sydney time. So he's at work when we talk to him.
Yeah, he's at work right now.
Thanks for taking the time, Luke. We appreciate you, bud. So without further ado, everybody, this is Luke.
What's going on, boys?
Look here, man. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know, still got my liquor right there on the mid shelf. Okay?
Mid shelf, mate. I can't even order that.
Shit. What's going on, man?
Just working at the moment. It's Friday, about 10 o'clock, so we're just trying to push to get out of here early. In Australia, we call it Poets' Day, and that means piss off early. Tomorrow is Saturday.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know if you've seen, but with every guest, we have them. That's why I told you to think of your top 5. So before we jump into City of Lies, do you have top 5 movies of all time?
It is probably the hardest question to get right, but in no particular order, Boondock Saints.
Okay.
That movie was, mate, it just hit me hard. It almost made me call my brother and say, let's do this. 300, definitely in the top 5.
Let's go.
Donnie Darko.
Oh, okay.
Donnie Darko was good.
It's a drama, but it was unbelievable for me. Probably at the time I watched it as well, I was into some other stuff, but
okay.
Braveheart, obviously.
Okay.
And for comedy, I'm gonna have to put in Step Brothers.
Great one. Great choice, man. Great choice.
That.
So, let's just dive into this, man, because I've been waiting to talk about this, and I know you've been waiting to hear what we had to think, or what we thought about it. So, do you want to tell us why you love it so much?
Why you suggested it for us to watch?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So when I moved to America in 8th grade, I got asked the question, who do you ride with or who do you represent, East or West, Tupac or Biggie? And I had no idea. I was like, what do you mean? You got to remember, I was an Australian kid. I listened to like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Silverchair at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Tupac, all right, I'll give it a... And I absolutely fell in love with Tupac's lyrics, his music, his message, his animosity. And then I got into the story of what happened and the big myth of Machiavelli, him returning. And I was like, wow, he's a god. And then I just came across City of Lies and I never heard about it. I didn't even know what it was about, but I saw Johnny Depp and Forrest Whitaker.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, it's got to be all right, surely. So yeah, mate, I rented it, or I bought it, and I was just captivated because of the story that once captivated the world. Really, everybody wanted to know what happened, and yeah, I just thought it was an unbelievable take on what I feel, and this is my opinion, but it's probably the closest thing to the truth that we'll ever find out.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, you rode with Pac over Biggie.
100%, bro.
Okay, that's that good weather talking.
Yeah.
That's that Australian go to the beach weather.
Oh man. So I remember when we started talking about this again, when you brought it up, I then remembered the trailer. And then I was like, oh yeah, what happened to that movie? And so that's when I started doing research about it, leading up to this. And it seemed like a lot of the studio stuff that they put out was that it was all to do with Johnny Depp, and he had some allegations of an assault like on set during filming. And then they also tried to say that it had stuff to do with his extramarital like activities, like stuff going on with him and Amber Heard. But that is not what the director says. And that is not what some of the other crew says. A lot of people involved in the movie think that LAPD influence got that movie from being released. What do you think about that?
Well, mate, that's exactly when I went into the movie store, and I wasn't looking for anything in particular. It's been
a movie store. When did this come out in 2001?
Yeah, like I think it's I never heard of it. And I'm just looking, and like I said, I saw the title. I was like, what is this? And the bloke that runs the movie shop, he was like, mate, it's banned in like 28 different countries. And I said, why? And he said, heavily, it portrays the LAPD as being involved in the death of Biggie. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, we kind of all know that deep down, that something was involved. Somebody was involved that could have hid this under the rug. Two of the most prolific rappers in history. Mm-hmm. Nobody's found their murder. Like, it doesn't make sense. So I just talked to him, and so we weren't told anything about the stuff. I mean, we knew Johnny Depp was going through. In fact, Johnny Depp went to Australia when all that court stuff was coming in to kind of hide out and just like sit on the beach and relax, basically. So I believe if that was the case, that's what would have been said to me originally. But what was said to me is, no, it heavily portrays the LAPD being involved. And I was like, right, I'm going to get this. And like first scene, and you guys just watched it, that first scene, you're like, holy shit.
That opening sequence was intense, and I was like, this is going to play a part, and then obviously it jumps right into it, and I was so captivated by the story, man. Like as a movie, part of it, I think it got a little slow at times, but I didn't even care because I was so into it, and I wanted to know what the outcome was. That I was. Oh man, I was entranced. I actually could have probably watched another another hour of this movie if they could have even given me more details, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of where after the movie I didn't stop because I was like you. There were times where I was like, all right, it's dragging, but after the movie I started fact checking, and that's where things got really interesting. Because I was like, is this a true story? You know, like I was like. So I started fact checking, and that's when it got really. So I probably not down any sort of rabbit hole, but I did look at probably another hour worth of people's side of the story, Biggie's mum's side of the story. Like I said to you about the lawsuit that they can't actually sue while it's an active case, which then gives you the conspiracy of, well, that's why it's still active. So yeah, I dived into fact checking, and a lot of it was as close to a fact as you could possibly call it, like the way he died at the end. So what happened was he found out that there was a warrant for that Impala, so he went to go check what happened with that, and he actually died. Like that's a true story, that part.
The guy literally worked himself to death. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's and the beautiful tragedy of that is he worked himself to death as a public servant. It wasn't I mean, maybe his intentions were to be right. He wanted to prove everyone he was right, but at the same time, he also wanted to give a family of grief closure. So I just thought that was commendable, and like I said, I just thought it was brilliantly done.
Yeah, man. He was just looking for the truth, honestly, you know? That's, so if you had to rate it, what would you rate it? Do you know our scale?
It's out of 10, isn't it?
Yeah, out of 10. Chris is going to hold it up for you.
Ooh. I'm going to go 9.9.9.
That's outlandish. If it's a 9.9, how come it's not in your top 5?
That's a fair point.
Because I think it played on what I already felt was true. It was like, for me, it was like watching what I had thought in my head all along since 1997, 98. Okay. So yeah, it would be a top 5 for me in movies changes.
Yeah.
In your life. I think an easier question would be top 5 by genre.
Okay.
But because, you know, you've got comedies, there's so many comedies that would fit in there, but you're not always
like asking top 5, because if people put comedies, then you really understand how much they hold comedies in a high regard. Yeah. Like you, I can tell you're very into like action based on your first 3.
Yeah, I don't like horror.
Like masculine movies.
I'm a baby when it comes to like murder sort of movies. I don't like feeling that sort of way.
Yeah.
But the difference in the masculine, I feel like they're all we're all once barbaric, you know, the way of the world. But
I get it. Testosterone.
Whereas, you know, the serial killer stuff, I kind of get a bit. So tell John Boy he needs to check his brain.
Oh, he'll see this.
Yeah, he'll see this for sure, man. This will be in the episode.
But yeah, as far as the top 5, putting this in my top 5, like I said, I feel like it was just something that I knew all along. So it didn't kind of, as a movie goes, it was great. But as far as life changing and like hit me where it hurts,
yeah,
it was something I knew for the last 20 years.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna start the hashtag Free City of Lies. I think this movie needs to be out there.
I think the biggest story, honestly, is that the movie got banned.
Yeah,
that's the crazy thing to me. But I do have to be honest. Like, I really enjoyed it. I agree with a lot of the things both of you have said. But if I'm being real honest, without the conspiracy, I don't care who killed Biggie and who killed Tupac.
Yikes.
You watch your mouth.
It doesn't matter to me. I get that they're dead, but it sucks because of the content. Like, they were great artists, and there's a lot of records that we didn't get to hear because they lost their lives too soon, obviously. Tragedy. But what are we, 30 years later? 22 years later, something like that? Well, I just don't care who the murderer was.
Even if it's the biggest police force in the entire world.
No, that's what I'm saying. The conspiracy of it, yes, that's like, wow, I can't believe that happened. But notice that they didn't talk about Pac's murder that much because I think that was just a gang retaliation hit. And in all honesty, like a gang member, this is the guy that killed Tupac. I'd be like, well, glad they got him. But beyond that, I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Personally.
You kind of just broke my heart a little bit, but it's cool.
Hey, what did you say?
I think as well, being that it's music related, like Pac for me and Biggie, there he is, serial killer. That's him. I'm telling you. Is he not Dexter?
He might be.
Chris knows him better than I do.
Jen thinks he is.
Mate, I was there when he was redoing the basement, and it looked like a scene out of Dexter. I was like, I gotta get out of here. You're freaking me out.
Hell yeah.
But no, I think for music, because it was music involved, where music is such an influence on our lives, I think that's what made the rating for me go up. Because Pac, like I said, mate, I was a long-haired little surfer kid when I moved to America.
Right.
And Pac made me, I would say, a stronger person, because I lived in a pretty bad neighborhood, and Pac made me he gave me a backbone.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah, music will do that.
I discovered his music when I was in middle school, and I absolutely I always like Biggie was cool, but I was a Pac guy too. I loved his music. I mean, greatest hits on repeat, man. I loved his music. His lyrics were incredible, man. I loved it.
We should have did a Biggie or Tupac poll before this.
Yeah.
Do it afterwards. But hey, look, man, I don't want to keep you too long.
You got your rating?
He 9.9 is what he said, right? We can do that.
What's yours?
Mine, let's see. I'm gonna go. If I could watch this multiple times, I would, but I'd have to go find it.
We have it illegally.
yeah, but it's gonna be deleted. But anyway, I'm gonna go 8.2. 8.2 is mine, and that's a fair score. It's a realistic score.
I respect that.
Yeah, because I would definitely watch this multiple times, and I 100% recommend it. I think everyone should see this movie. Just because, for me, I don't have this is what happened, if you ask me now. If anybody ever said, how do you think Biggie got killed? This is it. This is what I think now.
Oh,
that's how.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I 100%. I always thought Suge Knight had something to do with Biggie getting killed. I 100% thought that. But now that the police, I guess it's the police, but a gang within the police department, I think that all checks out. There's motive, there's reason behind the cover up. I understand it. It makes sense. I definitely believe that that's probably what happened. That being said,
your score.
I'm going to give it a 7.6.
Okay.
I've really enjoyed it, and I'm going to recommend people see it, but it's not something I'm going to need to watch again personally. But it was a great choice. I mean, that's a high score for me.
I actually agree, and I respect that, because it's not something that I would, if it's on, I'll definitely watch it. But it closed that chapter for me. The 20 years of wondering what it did close that. It was closure, and I thought it was done brilliantly.
Yep.
And I definitely think you boys should start the free City of Lives.
Yeah. I guess my whole watch it multiple times thing would be more so to be like, hey, have you seen this movie? Oh no? Well, then let's watch it, because you got to see this movie. Yeah.
No, exactly. So, I agree with that.
I get it. 100%.
So, hey, Luke, man, thanks for joining us. thanks for your time, man. We appreciate you. We appreciate all your support down there. And you got any final thoughts for the viewers?
I just suggest everyone to not only tune in to this brilliant show you guys do.
Hey,
thanks.
Start the hashtag of Free City of Lies, and I will start a hashtag of put the liquor on the top shelf.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
Take care.
See you, boys. Love
All
you.
right.
Okay. A 9.5. A 9.999. How outlandish is that?
They may do things differently down there. I don't know. I mean, Australia was founded by people that England didn't want, right? They just sent the criminals down there, right? I mean, but Lucas, we're cool. Like Luke's, like he's our guy. He's our guy. I don't know, but maybe
you Buffalo build him.
Yeah. Maybe they have a different system. I don't know.
I get it, and it was. Thank you so much for coming on. That was great.
Luke, I'm just busting your chops, buddy. We appreciate you so much. You did great. Thank you.
Thanks for the suggestion.
And thank you for the suggestion. I probably never would have watched this movie had he not been so hard on me to watch it. I probably would have never seen it. I'm so glad he did, man. And it's out there. You got to find it. You got to see this movie. We just mentioned the hashtag, but I'm going to hashtag the review on YouTube, on Facebook. Free City of Lies. This movie needs to be released. Maybe we can get Netflix to grab it.
And I might be East Coast over here, but LA's a shithole anyway. Let's just free
hold
that City of
on a
Lies.
minute, because I love LA. Okay.
Oh, I love LA.
And this right here, Pink's Hot Dogs.
They probably have a location open in Texas right about now.
One of the best hot dogs you'll ever had, especially if you've had a couple beers.
And for being honest, I've never once went, man, I would love the best hot dog ever.
Okay, a chili dog? Like a chili?
I love chili dogs.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love it.
Yeah.
But how do you compare hot dogs?
I don't know. The chili. Maybe it's the
It's
chili.
good? Okay.
Maybe it's the chili and the cheese.
Right. Hey, you know what? I'm probably way off base here. Like Chicago, people love them Chicago dogs.
I don't know about that. I'm talking
So
chili.
you've been there.
Oh yeah, when we were in LA, we went
It's a dope shirt.
I love it. We went to the Comedy Store, and afterwards, feeling a little good, looking up late night eats. Oh, this is a Hollywood, like, it's famous, obviously. And we went. Courtney and my brother said they were like not impressed. I fucking loved it.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're in LA and you've had a couple, go to Pink's Hot Dogs. They're open late. Well, I know LA's got crazy restrictions, but when they fully reopen, if Pink's is still around, you got to get you one.
And if you're beefing with a predominant record label, stay away from the police officers.
Yeah. Chili, cheese, mustard, onions, baby. Done.
I like that. I like that move.
Done.
I like that move.
I ate 2 or 3 of them.
I put that shit on my 7-Eleven dogs.
Yeah. I can't tell you the last time I had a 7-Eleven hot dog.
Can I throw it real quick? I used to live in Hawaii.
Okay.
Maui dogs are my favorite of all time.
Haven't had that. We'll have to.
In Maui.
Okay.
You ask for everything. And it's going to sound weird, but try it if you're... Be optimistic, right? It's hot dog, mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, relish, onions, and a pickle.
I would try that.
It's good.
I would try the shit
good.
out of that.
So, just throwing that out there. It's called Maui dog.
Dude, we can make that here.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
My mom made it for me when we came back. It's good.
Maybe we can get like Hawaiian, like sweet Hawaiian hot dog rolls.
Yeah, they got... Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Okay, I'm in. Let's do it. So before we wrap this whole thing up with City of Lies, so there are articles out there. A lot of what you'll read about this story from like Hollywood reporting agencies, it's all going to be about Depp's allegations of an assault on.
Oh, they're saying that's why it was pulled.
They're saying that, but if you look at like, I'm not talking deep dive conspiracy websites, but websites you've heard of, like UK websites, The Telegraph, The Daily Beast, things like that. This website here, the Daily Beast, they interviewed the director, right? So he had and people from the cast and crew.
Why are they saying it got pulled?
Because of the LAPD implications in the movie.
No. Why are the tabloids we see saying it got pulled?
Like Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Rolling Stone, they're all saying it's because of Johnny Depp, and there was an alleged assault between him and
Amber Heard?
No, the location manager on set. Like there was an argument that there was some kind of argument that ensued, and
what are you arguing with that guy about?
Because their permit was running out, is the story, so they had to be out by a certain time. Like they could only do one more take, or something ridiculous.
This has got to be. Did you see the budget for the film? Did that show up anywhere?
I did not.
Had to be over $10 million. Had to.
So?
You think you just go, oh well, Johnny Depp got in a fight with the locations guy we're wasting the $10 million.
That's what I say. It just seems like a bunch of cover up. Like
I agree.
So
100%.
Like so this guy alleged that Depp assaulted him, but numerous crew members were like, yeah, it never escalated beyond like them shouting at each other. And they hugged it out. They did more takes. They hugged it out when it was over. It was done, right? And if you look at like...
it sounds like his relationship with Amber Heard.
If you look at like some of the other facts in this article, it was supposed to come out in July. Or no, I'm sorry, it was shelved in July. It was supposed to come out in September.
Okay.
Shelved in July by the studio. Didn't tell the director until August that they weren't going to release it. Okay, which is shady point number one, I think. Okay. Then, when the studio finally called him to tell him that it was getting shelved, he said she was hard selling that it had to do with Depp and the stuff around him. When really he could have just, his point is like, if that was the case, she could have just said it and it's like done. But he said the way she was driving it home and really trying to sell it is like, he's like, what was the quote? He said, if that's true, then she could have just told me, matter of fact. But she's going on and on about all this research they've done on Depp and how him being in a major release wouldn't be good for the studio and blah, blah, blah. He's like, I just think there's got to be something else to it. It's got to be.
In general, you're not throwing $11 million out the window because one of the stars got in a fight with a locations guy. Not saying Johnny was right or wrong if that actually happened, but even if the Amber Heard stuff came out right before the release, I don't think they shelved this movie.
No.
I think it comes out and then they say, well, we regret to work with him and we're not working with him anymore.
Exactly. Dude, and so then like the filmmaker, the director, Furman, he ended up getting put on with another guy, Sergio Robledo, I don't know how you say his name, but he was a former LAPD homicide detective, and then he later became the lead investigator for the Wallace family and their civil suit against the LAPD. He's like, man, that guy took me down a rabbit hole. He's like, I saw everything. Stuff that has never been seen before. He got access to all the unredacted case files from the investigation, and like the related federal probe into the LAPD, like the FBI was investigating that Rampart division and how corrupt they were.
And this is the crazy thing, right? Everyone sees stuff that happens, Rampart in general, the stuff we talked about earlier with Black History, and go, wow, that was only 30 years ago, or wow, that was only 20 years ago, 10 years ago, Rodney King beatings. All that stuff is so recent. This is happening right now. This got shelved a year ago or 2 years ago.
2018.
3 years ago.
Yeah, we're there. We're close.
How wrong can I be?
Yeah, close.
But it's still shelved.
Yeah.
Insane. It's like that apparent that it's happening. And everyone knows it's happening, but when you find an example of it right now, it's good to show the light, start the hashtag, get the talk going. Thank you, Luke.
Yeah.
Now I'm putting on a tin hat, and I'm in this conspiracy thing.
I'm not a conspiracy guy, but this just seems, like I've said multiple times to this point, it just seems too crazy to not be true. That this, like, why else would the movie not have been released? So how much controversy has surrounded so many movie stars, and the movies still get, like,
of course.
I mean, of course. And here's another quote from the director. The Wallace family attorney said, hey, making this movie is going to be a huge risk to you, right? He already knows because he's been with the Wallace family for so long. Furman also said a friend of his with ties to the Los Angeles underworld told him, don't make the movie. Then a police officer who Furman knew, like, outside, like, independently of all this, hadn't heard from him in 15 years, contacted him and said, don't make the movie. He said, the guy told him, get a burner phone and cover the camera on your computer so nobody can hijack your laptop and figure out a way to frame you for whatever reason.
You killed Biggie.
It's just nuts, man. And the other thing is, this movie was supposed to be made years ago and got with DreamWorks Studios and got shelved back then. Leonardo DiCaprio was tied to it at one point. Sylvester Stallone had the rights at one point.
Can you imagine Sylvester Stallone?
No, I can't. No, I cannot. But what I'm saying is that this just, man, it
came out, man. It's out there.
Yeah, and
hard to find it.
I want more people to see it because I could go on and on. I have 3 articles that I have found. All 3 links will be in the description in the YouTube video. So read them. It's good stuff here. There's a couple other things, a couple points. One last thing. I mean, the article's long. I'm giving you the highlights. But like an FBI agent who worked the Biggie Smalls case told the Daily Beast, this company here, that the corruption in the LAPD goes far beyond a police officer being complicit in a homicide.
Right.
I mean, it's nuts, man. It's just really, really not that, it's like because the Wallace family is suing for $400 million, at least that's what the civil suit was back in 2002.
I mean,
they say
that sounds outlandish, but Biggie would have made more than that in his career, probably. Maybe.
They say it in the movie. That kind of hit, plus the bad publicity, but that kind of money, not only would it ruin the LAPD, I think.
Well, the city's already bankrupt, so.
Exactly. I mean, they would. This movie, But
you know what a good time for this to have been released was?
Tell me.
Last year, when no Hollywood studios were releasing anything worth watching, this was fully produced with a full budget and watchable, and shelved, so it didn't have a major release. That would have been a good time to release it, especially amongst all the other crazy stuff that was happening in our country. People probably would have just looked at it and said, never mind. Just like when they released Aliens were real and no one cared.
Oh, yeah, that was wild.
No one even talked about it.
Doesn't even list the budget here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who knows what they made it for. But, I mean, to get Johnny Depp, that's big money right there.
Yeah. Way over a $10 million budget.
So, anyway.
Not
going to harp any longer, but you got to see
check it out.
Search it out. Watch this movie. If anything, just to see the story. It's nuts.
Yeah,
it is nuts. Highly recommend. As you saw the scores, I think what did I say? 8.2?
Yeah.
8.2, and you said
7.6.
7.6. It's up there. Watch it. Okay.
So, also, I said this to Luke on the interview. The conspiracy is the story.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you guys actually care who killed Biggie or Tupac at this point?
I mean, if this is the
the conspiracy part, yes, 100% in. If it's the police department, great. Yeah. Not great, but yes, as far as compelling stuff, 100%.
Yeah.
But
people need to be held accountable. That's what I think.
I agree.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Anyway, that's it. Score's a score. Locked in. Last but not least, let's jump into this 3 to keep real quick, man. You excited for this or what?
No. But yes, I'm excited to have this discussion. I've been waiting all day to have this discussion.
So, if you don't know what we're talking about, the choices were Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, The Sopranos, and The Wire. And all the choices were pretty heavy in one or two direct, like one or the other, okay? Couple votes for The Wire, which was shocking to me because it's the hometown show, right?
What the crazy thing is that is clearly the middle toward the top.
Yeah.
It's no one's bottom. I don't think it could be, but I don't know if it's anyone's favorite either.
Yeah. So one guy's logic actually made sense to me in that, because I've experienced this before too. If you go anywhere outside of Baltimore or Maryland, whatever, and you tell someone you're from Baltimore, they're like, "Oh, The Wire?" Like, okay, but we have more than that. Okay.
No, we don't. Stay the fuck out of the city.
No, we have more than that.
I don't go down there.
Come on. There's more here than that heron, okay? We got good food here. We got hella good food
Ever
here,
since
okay?
they killed Prop Joe, the cities aren't safe.
Oh, God. Okay. My point is, the guy's logic was like, that's so annoying that I could go without ever having that in my life again.
Oh, I like that reputation.
Oh, I don't know. It's like, there's so much
I respect that a little bit. But no, fuck that. Where the cities were? West Side, East Side? You are not going down to West Side, East Side, Baltimore.
Not by choice.
I've been there. I mean, not there. Like, drop people off.
Dude, no, that's not, but no.
You get an uneasy feeling.
No, because I've been in areas where, like, but I've also been in Fells Point.
Fells Point is not where that show took place.
Well, there are scenes. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter. You can go anywhere in the city. And something could happen, or something. You could go anywhere, and something could happen, or something could not happen. I've seen insane, like, brawls.
It's not about that, but consistency.
Crime, whatever, dude.
Baltimore has the most murders per capita in the country.
Is that a real fact?
Yes.
That's an actual.
Per capita. You know, like, Philly has more murders because it's way bigger.
And people there suck.
Well, I like Philly.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Baltimore too. Baltimore too.
I just...
But per capita...
You know what I hate there? The street parking. It's the worst.
It is the worst.
It's the fucking worst.
It is the worst. But,
so maybe they don't say... Their design of street parking sucks.
And I heard this on 98 Rock, but there's some Middle Eastern countries that are safer than the inner city of Baltimore. And that's just a fact.
It gets pretty wild downtown.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. There's definitely parts where you're okay.
But it can also, my whole point is it can happen anywhere. It can happen anywhere.
Oh, yes, it can. It's mismanaged. Look what you said earlier. LA and then probably Baltimore. Because,
well, whatever.
No one seems to care.
Okay, anyway, we're getting a little, okay. But the choice is here.
Great show, though.
It is,
all of these are great.
So here's my, I haven't made my choice yet. Okay, it's close between Game of Thrones and The Sopranos. Those are the two front runners, okay? It's real close. At first, it was real heavy Sopranos, and then all the Game of Thrones people started saying, fuck Game of Thrones, get Game of Thrones out of here, all this stuff, right? So, Breaking Bad had some, okay? I haven't made my choice yet. My choice, I think both of our choices aren't going to sway this, right?
No. I already wrote mine down.
Are you picking Game of Thrones?
Fuck no.
Exactly. I'm not picking Game of Thrones either. So, the loser to this is The Sopranos.
Well, let me say mine. Well, let me talk on mine, and then you use yours, Sopranos.
Mine is The Sopranos.
All right, you can talk on Sopranos first.
Okay, so here's my thing for The Sopranos, right? I'll run down all of them, right? For me, Breaking Bad is perfect TV.
That's your number one.
Of these, yes. But let me tell you why. It started really good. Like I was into it from the beginning, okay? It got better and better and better as each season went on, and it is the perfect ending to a TV show. Where most shows, they fuck something up, they don't land it. Game of Thrones, prime example. Dexter, prime example. This show wrapped everything up perfectly. Okay, so of these four, that's my number one. Game of Thrones would probably be my number two because I never finished The Wire. Okay?
Ooh, finished The Wire.
Courtney has never seen any of it.
Okay.
So we keep telling ourselves we're gonna watch it, and then we just get other things. And
with Julia, when we do this, I watch it and then I'll rewatch it with her.
Okay.
With The Wire especially.
Okay.
Trust me.
But that's why. So that's where I haven't finished it all the way.
Okay.
So I've seen the first 3 seasons.
The Wire ends amazing.
I hear, right? And then The Sopranos, I'm getting rid of that because I've seen it. I enjoyed the shit out of it when it was on, okay? But I don't ever have to watch it again. I don't ever need to watch that. Like, it's another mob story, and I just I could go without it.
It's weird to me though that you haven't even finished The Wire. Like, you haven't liked it enough to finish watching it.
It's just, dude, I don't know. It's just one of those things.
I know you've watched a bunch of shows since then.
Yeah, I've watched a million shows. It just, every time, it's like, what do you want to watch?
Based on your own logic, I feel like The Wire should be your lowest.
Okay, but I can't because I haven't finished it. So I don't, it's not because I want to finish it. We haven't finished it because we haven't been able to watch it together yet. We haven't decided, hey, we're going to start this 5-season show now, where it's like sometimes we pick stuff, it's like, you know, we can watch a movie or we can watch we're current on this show that's out right now. We want to be able to talk about the new shit that's out right now. It just hasn't worked out.
I get it.
But of the 4, I mean, even not having seen all the way through The Wire, and ranking, and to get all 4 of these shows, I think, should be in everyone's top 10 shows of all time. Like, I think these are take out comedies, take out whatever. I'm talking drama shows. These are some of the best examples of TV shows out there. I mean, I think it just is that way. Game of Thrones stuck the landing. That's number 1 for me all day long.
Game of Thrones was the greatest show of all time by season 4. It doesn't matter how it ends to me.
No?
No.
How could it not matter how it ends?
Because you get hung up on that and then you forget everything they did for you. The Ravens lose in the Super Bowl. It was still a great season.
That's fair. Dude, I don't argue that. But what I'm saying is, I don't like the way that I felt like they handled the way they handled it. It was like they didn't even give a fuck.
It's not that they didn't give a fuck. The directors, as soon as they got past R.R. Martin's material, had to create it on their own, and they are not creative people. That's why they got cut from the Star Wars shit. Yeah. They got booked for the Star Wars stuff, tried a little bit, and were like, you know what? Let us write the story for you.
So why wouldn't they bring someone else in?
They had creative power to do whatever they wanted. It's the biggest show in history.
It is the biggest show.
There's no way you fire the directors of the biggest show in history.
Even if they're fucking it up as it's going.
It's too late. The episodes are made.
Not for season 8. You're talking from season 4 on.
Well, I liked the seasons up until the last one.
For me, it was the last 2 episodes. That's where it really...
It condensed it too much. So,
They needed more time.
Yeah,
also.
I agree 100%. They should have extended it maybe another season or another 4 or 5 episodes.
Well, the season was already delayed too. That's the thing.
In 2 years.
Wait 6 more months.
Because they were trying to get George R. R. Martin to get his creative thought process.
Wait 6 more months.
Maybe that old fuck's last big twist is everyone gets fucked.
Yeah.
The audience gets killed. I figured out how to do it.
He looks like the kind of guy.
You know what? I'm just gonna kill the audience on the last one.
Yeah.
That'll be my last twist.
Yeah. For me, it's just I plan
bullshit. on. I call bullshit on every person
Uh-huh.
that watched Game of Thrones and said this was the worst show. And if you didn't see all the
I
shows,
just said it was my number 2.
Not you. The people that voted, because it didn't lose, but it was close.
I picked The Sopranos. Have you made your choice yet?
All right, so I'll go. Let's talk about my choice first.
Okay.
Breaking Bad.
That's out for you.
Out for me.
Done.
I didn't like it.
Okay.
It's a no for me. It could have been one season, in my opinion.
No way.
Yeah.
No
you know what
way.
pisses me off a lot, aside from the white suburban, I don't know, I'm a gangster all of a sudden bullshit.
It wasn't all.
Is that if he would have just taken the money from his rich friend, he'd have been fine. Why wouldn't he have just done that?
His rich friend was an asshole.
So what?
Who demeaned him his whole life. Fuck no. No way, dude. That was about a man. No, come on. That was about a man trying to set, you find out right away he's got cancer. He's gonna die. So he starts this off trying to just set his family up for when he's gone. And watching him go from a guy just trying to make sure his family is okay, slowly turn into a fucking villain.
I agree with that part of it, but it took too long for me.
No, man.
So it's the same thing where my mindset was when I watched Blow. And I know I get a lot of slack for saying Blow wasn't that good. And I get it. But it's like the main villain acted like the victim the whole fucking time. Like, it's, woe is me.
I don't think, not up to a certain point. But then when he flipped it on and was like,
also,
what was the line? Say my name. Like, when he turned into a villain,
it was cool.
Then he was no longer the woe is me guy. He was like, I'm gonna,
He wasn't though, because when he was around his family, he acted like it was all like lying to justify it. It just didn't grab me, honestly.
All right.
He seemed like a pussy, and then it was really cool to see him turn into a gangster, but by then I just didn't believe it.
I don't know.
And the sidekick Jesse, I didn't like his acting. His voice was weird for me. I know that's a weird little pet peeve. I didn't like him casting that role at all.
I had to overlook that because he annoyed me a little bit too.
Everyone. He should annoy everyone.
Yeah. He did have a weird voice. And the way his character... But the overall story to me is just...
And I will say this.
Yeah.
I had to binged the whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see a cliffhanger and then anticipate the next episode.
Yeah.
Which I do think that show really, really needs.
Which is how I was watching it.
Right.
Week to week. I was watching that week to week, Game of Thrones week to week, and then The Sopranos, I wasn't old enough to watch it week to week when it was out.
Yeah, I binged the whole thing.
I watched that later, and then The Sopranos to me was I had heard so much about how shitty the ending was. So many people hate the end of The Sopranos, and then when it ended, I was like, that's what everybody's so mad about?
Yeah, the show was kind of boring for me.
It's not...
It's in my bottom 2. Sopranos was a tough watch for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it when I watched... I watched this years and years ago. I will never watch that show again. It was good when it was on, and that was also on when TV wasn't what it is now.
Right. But so was The Wire.
Okay,
fair.
They
ran pretty similar.
Well, the choices were limited back then, is what I'm saying. So, quality TV back then is different than quality TV now.
Yeah, I would watch the Oz over Sopranos.
I've never seen Oz. I've heard good things about Oz. Yeah, I've heard good things.
Good stuff.
So yeah, to sum all that up,
I do want to talk about Game of Thrones though.
Can I just because I wanted to say something too. I saw somebody posted a picture of a tweet that somebody said about Game of Thrones.
I read your comment.
And I thought it was one of the best points that and I'm just going to read it for you here. Game of Thrones was on TV for a decade and had a stranglehold on popular culture, and it ended so poorly that literally the moment it ended, its cultural influence dissolved, which is 100% accurate.
So what do you give that credit to? I mean, is it a bad show or a good show?
It was a good show to a point.
So I get what you're saying.
I don't see how you can sit here and say that a terrible ending doesn't affect the show.
I didn't say it doesn't affect it, But I do think people are such short memories that they forget. First off, I don't know about you. Actually, I do know about you, but I'm going to bring it up like I know. Did you have viewing parties?
We did.
Have you ever done that with other shows?
Yes.
What other show?
We watched Yellowstone as a group. Me, Courtney, Adam, Chrissy.
So like a foursome.
Yeah, but when I say viewing party, I'm talking 4 to 6 people max.
Okay, so
I'm not talking.
We had like 20 people. We'll get together and watch this.
Don't know how you could do that because people are assholes.
Oh no, we were very quick to quiet. We had a lot of money on death pools. DJ Brown, if you watch, shout out to DJ. I think he won like $1,100 the first season.
So there was a silence.
We had it in screening, upstairs, downstairs, it's split up. Yeah. My stepdad, Wilson, you watch, shout out to Wilson. Wouldn't shut up, wasn't invited back.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's how it should be. Shut up and watch a show for an hour. Yeah.
Very, very strict about that.
Yeah.
But we'd party all day. It was like a football game for us. Just reminisce your feelings when you saw the Red Wedding. Have you ever felt like that on another television show? Has any other television show done that to you?
Not one.
Even close?
Not one.
Yeah, when they stabbed that girl's belly, I was like, no.
Which is why it's my I'm just gonna say it again.
Yes, you trip at the finish line. But goddamn,
it would be unmatched. Nothing would ever touch it. Greatest show of all time. If they stuck the landing.
I hear you.
So look, I was behind, right? So when I watched Game of Thrones, I watched the first season when it aired, like week to week. Okay. And I was like, at the end of season 1, when they killed Ned Stark, I was like, oh shit, this is the kind of show this is? Yeah. Like, this is insane. So I was like, fuck this, I'm going to read the books. That's how good this is. Never read the books. So I just got behind. I got way behind.
Bought the books and we're like,
I still have them. They're over there. They're like this, and there's so many, it's hard to follow. You think the show's hard to follow sometimes? Like, the books are insane.
They use words that aren't even in English.
God, anymore. Yeah. But, so then, fast forward, Courtney and I start dating. She's super into it. I'm living with my brother. He's super into it. So I'm like...
You guys might not have got married if it wasn't...
And they want to watch it. I'm like, damn, I got to catch up. So I'm catching up. I'm watching season 3 on New Year's, like, leading up to New Year's Eve. I didn't know. Dude, literally somehow, don't know. I didn't know, but I didn't know what was coming. I'm watching that episode right before we're about to go out to a party. And when the Red Wedding happened, jaw on the floor.
Yeah.
If at the party, if somebody didn't want to talk to me about Game of Thrones, I was like, okay, I'm moving on. I didn't care.
What do you think of Game of Thrones? I didn't really...
Have you guys seen it? No? Okay. I gotta find someone else. I couldn't not talk about it. It was nuts. And Courtney was so mad that she missed my reaction because she was upstairs getting ready. It was, man. And that's... if you've somehow never seen it and you don't know what we're talking about, go on YouTube and just search reactions to the Red Wedding.
Or just watch the show.
Or watch the show.
I'm telling you to watch the show.
Yeah.
So, yes, the last season did suck, but there's so much more to it than just the last season. And people don't give it. They're short term. What have you done for me lately? Yeah. People don't like Lamar Jackson. He won MVP last year. Yeah. So what have you done for me lately, society? Game of Thrones is amazing.
To me, the ride to the end was still worth it. Like, it was...
I've rewatched it twice since it's done.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm going to wait. I'm giving it more time. I'm also going to wait till Celine gets older.
You will like it more episode to episode of the last season.
My brother said it was worse. He said the second time through was worse.
Well, we know what the critics think of your brother.
No, not Adam. Oh. Not Adam, no. And fuck that random, whatever. But my youngest brother, Brian, he literally just finished it the other day, and he was like, yeah, it was worse for me.
Did you watch the last season or the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Oh man, I loved it. Even now, I've watched it a couple times. Mm-hmm. I'll learn something new every time.
Yeah, because there's so much.
Who's your favorite character?
I mean, I love Daenerys. I love Jon Snow, but
I hated Jon Snow.
Did you?
He's a bitch.
Come on, a bitch?
Yes, 100%.
Why?
Because why can't you just bang the girl you love? You gotta have honor.
Oh God. All right.
Well, that could be a different discussion. We'll get into
what
that.
What are we talking about?
Jon Snow. My favorite character was the Hound.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he was funny. I thought he was great. My favorite scene of all time is when he's with little Arya in the pub.
I loved her.
In the pub, and they come up and they're like, he was like talking to whatever's make me hungry. And he said, "You willing to die over some chickens?" And he looked at him, he looked at his 3 friends, he said, "Somebody's going to." And they just go ham on him. I was like, yes.
Oh, man. What if I said my favorite character was Joffrey? Who would you have said?
Joffrey was a great villain.
Yeah, he was a great villain. But I hated that motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what makes a good villain.
One of my favorite characters, the
old lady.
The old lady. Yeah, the old lady. God, what was her name? The queen, right? She was a queen of something.
The Queen of Thorns.
Yeah. And the big redheaded guy. Who was obsessed with Brienne?
Yeah, Brienne.
Oh my god.
Brienne Tarth was good.
Yeah, she was. There's.
Arya. It's just so we couldn't even have this discussion about other shows.
Yeah, it is. It what?
I'm sorry. I just had to say something.
No, you're right. You're right, man.
Good.
Again,
it doesn't have to be the greatest of all time. It doesn't.
Yeah.
But the disrespect on this shit.
I'm surprised it's so close.
Yeah, I mean, The Sopranos was boring.
It wasn't boring, but it just... It's funny, too, because you're a fucking mob guy. You love that shit.
Which is probably why I think it's boring. I think the Mafia stuff is good and enough Spurs to say, wow, it's crazy to see how much they control, not make a soap opera out of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. Sopranos is gone, and the only reason I didn't pick The Wire, I think, is because I want to finish it. So if I cut it, then I can't finish it.
Watch it.
Okay.
It is so good.
Okay.
And The Wire is definitely, it's in my top 5. Top 3.
Shows of all time?
Oh, yeah. I watched that multiple. Julia and I watched that multiple times.
Okay. Alrighty, guys. Let's get into a little rum.
A spruce rum?
Some room. A little room. Oh, man.
Ooh, Route 66.
Is that what it says?
Isn't that where,
is that where
the guy from Cars broke down?
Yeah, but it's a long road.
It's relevant to this conversation.
It's a long road. Oh, man. I got this in Santa Monica, though, on the pier. I guess maybe the road goes all the way up.
Santa Monica's nice, isn't it?
It's so nice.
There's a
I love LA.
mystery spot.
I love LA pier.
I love LA too.
Man.
It's just the... I don't know. Just the state of that state is tough. You go there, and San Francisco is just so full of homeless people right now. I don't even want to talk about it. It'll bring me
That's
down.
a whole nother thing. But, all right, guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. Next week, what I'm going to do is, because I don't think there's anything new that we can choose from. So, obviously, WandaVision episode 8. And then last week, I put out a question asking for recommendations. Chris and I are going to go through the list, and we'll just pick one. We'll pick one off the list of all the suggestions. God damn it. Dude, 2 weeks in a row. I cannot... I can't talk.
He knows some of these words.
We got a lot of good suggestions, is what I was saying. So we're going to start maybe trying to run through them. We don't have something new, which is what we don't have next week. So there you go. It'll be in the, the description when I put the video up, what we're going to watch. Trailer, all that. Guys, thanks for watching.
Also, give Ben a shout out. He's been doing the editing for the last 2 weeks. He's killing it, crushing it, dropping clips in. And he's promoting it. I wish I could do as much as you do.
Thanks, man.
So thank you.
No, man, this is, I don't know. I wish this was my real job.
One day.
Real talk for real movies, yeah, we'll listen. Real life on real hype, you feel different. Underrated, appreciated, or barely made it. You let us know at Law Bay, yeah, you really hate it. And Christmas like in the past, he thought it going better. And like Jess, it didn't show up, and we don't let him. It's real talk, no theoretical, though it ain't invisible, man. It's so dependable, damn. You can't see him if it's dark or bright. Ask Chris with his Miller Lite. Or Blockbuster, it's so good, right? Candyman or Tony Dodd or Holy God. I mean the devil all the time, or at least a lot. Apocalypto, go against the grain like your boy Adam, who drink Jack like Jungle Land and Nick Mullins. Educators, tell us what you know about him. Is it bad or good like Peanut Butter Falcon? Special guests like Danny D and Dave Arnold. Let us look to the future, Event Horizon. In real life, the movie will never stop. Till it does, we drop, and there's no getting up. Until then, subscribe and they let you know the tops. Only way to know for sure is to watch. So shut up and drink your pops, your soda and corn pops, and listen to the real life movie talk. I'm isolated like the lady in black, and I seek revenge for these movies that whack.